Hey gamers, Melkor6925 here, bringing you another Clash Royale video. Now there's a few things that we're actually going to go through today. One of those is going to be a deck spotlight, obviously one of my favourite kind of videos, guys. Also, I've just reached level 10. Now, the reason I've reached level 10 is not because I've been paying money into the game or anything like that, though I did buy a few gems at the very start. Very long time ago, just so obviously I did contribute to the game, but they was only few and far between. The reason why I'm level 10 really is due to my total donations of 10,409. Due to the level of donations that I've actually done, you'll find that my card levels aren't really what you would expect of a level 10 and would generally be what you would see at low to mid level 9s. So obviously these are my current stats. This is the deck that we're actually going to showing you today. I've got a couple of replays going through that. Okay, so they're my current stats. So let's have a look at the deck that we're going to be using today. Or I'm going to be showing off today. So the focal point really is the Giant in combination with the mini PEKKA. So what we have the Elixir Collector, we have the minions, the Barbarians, as I've said before guys, generally a staple in my decks, or in many of my decks. Same as that Elixir Collector this day and age. We have the Fire Spirits, the first deck I've ever really used the Fire Spirits with. We have the Giant, which is the big brute there, just to soak up all that damage and deal some damage as well. We have the Spear Goblins, we have the mini PEKKA, which I've just pushed up to level 7, literally just. And we also have the level 7 Fireball. Obviously guys, these are all the cards that I have, everything ranging from level 6 to level 9s and level 6 and 7 rares generally speaking, with my epics being levels 2 and 3 in general. And as you can have a look at that, I still do not have any of those darn legendary cards. Hopefully I'll get my fingers on one of those soon. I did have a magical chest last night which I thought would yield me one, but yet I am still denied. So we shall see. So guys, let's just have a look at a couple of battles with this deck. Now as you can see, I've been trying out several different decks here, so there is victories and defeats mixed in there. But with this deck, I've got 3 replays here to show you and 3 victories. So I'm going to show you the last one first, which wasn't against the strongest of opponents, but nonetheless was a solid 3-0 victory. So as you can see, I have the Elixir Collector in my starting hand. I love having that Elixir Collector because I can get that down on the field and start off quite offensive, building up a good solid Elixir count. So wish the opponent good luck. Get that Elixir Collector down on that field. I was a bit slow deploying it there for some reason. I'm not normally so slow in deploying it. Now with our opponent deploying his Elixir Collector as well. So wait to see what our opponent's going to do. As he's not doing anything and wasting Elixir, I drop the bar at the back. Then I'm going to use that Fireball to take out that Musketeer, do some serious damage to that Collector and some damage to that tower, giving us a bit of an advantage. So those Barbarians are now getting into the thick of things. I'm going to drop the minion down to take out that Valkyrie. Now that was a very well placed poison spell by our opponent, meaning we was never getting to that tower, unfortunately. So as our Elixir builds, we're going to drop the Giant in the back to start another push down this left hand side. So our opponent is going to drop that Hog Rider. So I'm going to use my Barbarians to take that out. So I've got a bit of a push going down both sides here. So again, those Spear Goblins behind the Giant, and when I'm going to take out that Valkyrie, the Giant's going to take out that cannon, and then we're going to do some serious damage to this left tower with a push on that right tower as well. Drop down those minions. It's about this point the opponent realises he's lost one tower. He's about to lose his second tower as well, and there's no point, so he's just going to exit the game. Down goes my second Giant, and I'm just going to wait for that tower to crumble for a 3-0 victory. So overall, a very fantastic outcome. Quite easy in that respect. The opponent just wasn't able to counter it. So let's have a look at another one. Obviously you can see guys, my Royal Giant deck there again, still continuing to win. So this was another 3-1 victory, so let's have a look at this one. Now we're going against the Balloon Giant, and obviously they do have that bomb tower as well, which can cause some issues for this deck. So it was a 3-1 victory. Can't quite remember how this one went. So firstly, going to get that Elixir Collector down on that battlefield, as always. And wait to see what our opponent is going to do. So he drops the wizard in the back. Now when they drop the wizard in the back like that, I like to take it out with a fireball because it means I can do some damage to that tower as well. So I get damage on the tower and I get to take out a level of 4 elixir card troop. Same as I did with the musketeer in the previous one. So down goes the barbs. Giant in front. Now at this point our opponent's going to drop down that bomb tower. So I'm going to drop down those fire spirits just to hopefully do a bit of damage, to be a help really. Them barbarians did get to that tower though, which is good. So we're going to do some serious damage to that tower. Near enough getting it all the way down. Fantastic. So we're not going to quite get it here, or are we? Yes, we are. Oh, for some reason I didn't think we actually did. So we've got 1 tower to 0, and we're looking good. So the opponent drops down the baby dragon. So while he's doing that, I'm going to do a little push down the far side. So it goes in with the balloon. So I drop my minions, which for some reason went the wrong bloody way. So I drop my giant to distract so my PEKKA can go for that tower. Unfortunately, he does drop the barbarians. So in goes those fire spirits to do some damage to those barbarians. We're doing some serious damage to that tower. Unfortunately, we just ignored that balloon, allowing it to take down our tower. So at this point, we've got their opponent's tower down to 14 and the crown tower to 2100. So we're going to stop that push by dropping those barbarians and that mini PEKKA to take that out. As that push is continuing down this right hand side, we are just going to let our elixir build. So we're in a strong position here. We both obviously have lost a tower, but obviously we've got most of the damage actually done. So down goes that giant. We're going to take out that bomb tower as quickly as possible using that giant. Down goes that dragon. So we're going to take this tower down in very quick order, taking out that wizard at the same time with that fireball. Obviously our opponent drops those barbarians down, but obviously we've got our own barbarians there. Drop the giant on the right side, followed by those minions. Those minions can do a serious amount of damage. Drop those fire spirits just to obviously eliminate the damage on our own tower. And we're just going to settle in to slowly working down their tower. Boom, 3-1 victory, just like that. Once the opponent was on the back foot, there was not much he could really do at that point. So guys, we'll have a look at the last one, which was a 1-0 victory, I believe. Yep. Obviously, this was a little bit harder, and let's see how we got on with this. So our opponent is using that golem, which obviously is fantastic at soaking up damage, and he's got that wizard, obviously, to take out any barbarians and low-level troops as well when it's sat behind that golem. So unfortunately I haven't got the collector, so we're going to have to start our push. So we drop our giant while our opponent drops his golem. Obviously we're both going down the same side at this point. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to drop the barbarians and the spear goblins down the right side to obviously try and change the battle up a bit. Fortunately our opponent does have that wizard, so we use the fireball and we'll continue to do some damage to that side. I drop down my minions to try and take out that golem. Now we've got 1 tower down to 669 and we have the other tower down to 1800. That golem is obviously doing a lot of damage to us. Luckily how that worked out, our minions was able to take out that mini PEKKA. Unfortunately our tower is down to just over 1100. But we're about levels for devils on Elixir, and we have more damage done to our opponent's tower than they have to ours, leaving us in a solid position. So we both decided to finally get down our Elixir pumps. That took a while. And we're both, again, near enough level for Elixir. So I'm going to start my push now again with the giant. I'm obviously going down the right-hand side this time because I want to get down that tower from 669. Our opponent is thinking the same and gets his golem on the field. As my elixir is building up, I drop the spear goblins down to go behind the giant to obviously push that giant on a bit quicker. There we go. And our opponent drops his wizard behind his. So I'm going to use the fireball to take out that wizard, and then I'm going to use my minions and my barbarians to take out that golem. Now we've now taken down their tower. We're going to use those fire spirits to take down his troops. Now luckily for us, we're going to stop his tower on 7, 9, 8. And we're going to continue our push down this left hand side. Those arrows taking out most of our troops. So at this point, guys, we're looking good. And we're in a very strong position. You'd think at this point we could potentially go on and get a second or even a 3-crown victory. Obviously we know that's not the case. Our opponent is defending very well, using his troops to great effect. So drop down those 5 spirits and a fireball. Not sure why I dropped them 5 spirits really. They was a waste. But oh well. So I'm going to drop my giant down in front, obviously more as a distraction than anything else at this point. Obviously our opponent is going with his golem. In hindsight, really what I should have done is dropped my giant on the opposite side and gone for the crown tower. But that's just one of those things. So at this moment in time, my elixir is just building up. All I want to do is stop his troops getting to my tower. So use that fireball like that. I'm going to drop down those things, fire spirits, and we're just placing troops down now just to distract. Obviously, we've got the opponent's tower down to 280, so if we needed to, we could have quickly took that. But there we go, 1-0 victory, leaving our tower on 380 and our opponent's on 280. A couple more seconds, we'd have started another push down that side as well to try and take that second tower. So, guys, that's it from me. That's another fantastic deck that I've been using. Fantastic in this arena, Arena 7. Absolutely deadly. Any questions, comment below, guys, let me know. Do me a big favour, if you've not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you gamers next time. Take care.